what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Cool Brother, aka Malik Long, and you're now tuning in to the Cool Podcast with another dope, cool episode. And my special guest this evening, I met this man, I believe, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, on a video shoot. He was directing a video by the band Moonshine Jasmine. Shout out to Megan and the rest of the band. And I was in the video pretending to play the congas. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you the multi-talented Mr. Ryan Dowden. I think I pronounced the last name incorrectly. If I did, I apologize. Correct me if I
No, that's
didn't.
right. That's
But
right. It's
welcome,
Dowden.
Dowden. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to the show, my man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, my pleasure. So won't you tell the listeners what you do and what you're about?
Well, so as you mentioned, you met me while doing a music video for Moonshine Jasmine. Again, shout out to Megan. She was actually my very first paid client for a music video. So you got to be part of the first
Mhm.
one I ever did, and see me stumble through all the steps of getting stuff ready. But yeah, so I've been a musician most of my life since I was probably 13, 14 years old. And I'll
Mhm.
be 39 in about a month. So I got about 25 years in me of being a musician. And within the last 5 years
Nice.
or so, I got some cameras and started doing some video work. Started with music videos, interviews. I've done a couple weddings, and most recently, I've moved into short, independent short films, which I've got 3 of those
Okay.
in production right now, or in planning stages at least. One we're actually shooting, and the other one we've got a shoot date set. That's the one that we were talking about recently,
Mhm.
the funeral thing, as I've been calling it.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. And I know with your short films, you was looking for um there was a production about looking for a superhero like Batman type of Gotham City type
Yeah,
of film.
that's actually the
What's
one that we're currently filming. I actually
okay?
got caught up editing one of the scenes, which is why I got into this chat a little later than what we had talked about. I put my phone on silent, not realizing. I was like, oh crap, he's gonna
Yeah.
8:05. He said 8. I gotta get in the chat. But yeah, so we're working on that. That's a story that I wrote called Batman 9 Lives, which is a story
Mhm.
that centers around Batman and Catwoman's romance.
Okay.
Later down the line, when they're kind of like ready to sort of retire as crime fighters. So it's an interesting
Okay.
take, I think, on the Batman lore. I think the joke goes around every time a new Batman series comes out. The question is always how many
Yeah.
how many times can we see Bruce Wayne's parents get shot in an alley? So I decided to
Right.
skip all that and just dive into, in this story, he's about 50 years old, and he's ready to settle down and retire from crime fighting.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Now, speaking of Batman, was he one of your favorite superheroes growing up?
Oh, absolutely. As I mentioned,
Yeah.
I'm 39 now, so I was born in the late 80s. That first Michael Keaton Batman movie came out when I was pretty young, and
Yes.
then I think it was
Yes.
94 was Batman the Animated Series, which a lot of the
Mhm.
characters that are in this 9 Lives that I'm working on, we based a lot
Mhm.
of their character archetypes and their like costume designs and stuff. We based them off of
Okay.
that Batman the Animated Series. So yeah,
Okay.
Batman was
Nice.
huge for me growing up.
Yes, absolutely. Me too. And I still, in my opinion, I still believe Michael Keaton is the best Batman. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
know
just
what?
my
I
opinion. I know.
I always liked Val Kilmer, who I
Yeah.
just felt like he looked more. I mean, he was Iceman, in Top Gun. He was
Yeah.
he was bigger, he was
Uh-huh.
buffer. But
Yeah.
recently, the most recent one with Robert Pattinson, I actually think that he did a
Yeah.
really, really good job. And a lot of people were kind of not didn't have any faith in him. They're like, oh, the guy from Twilight, and it's he's actually a
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really good actor. And I think he brought a
Yeah.
lot to that role. So, but yeah, Batman has always been a huge thing for me. Ninja Turtles as well. If you didn't
Yeah.
know, my company is called Shell Shock Multimedia,
Sure.
and that actually
Okay. Oh,
stems from
okay.
my long time lifetime love of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay. Heroes in the Half Shell, Turtle Power.
Yeah, you remember
Yes,
the old
indeed.
arcade game? The had the
Oh yeah.
four
Oh
controllers. You
yeah.
could beat them. Well, when you would
Oh yeah.
like
Of
lose your
course.
life
Yes.
in that game, the game would go boo 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 shell shock,
Hmm.
and so that's where the
Yes.
name Shell Shock Multimedia came from. So
Okay. Nice. That's a very cool backstory right there. Yes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Who's your favorite turtle out of the four?
Donatello, which isn't usually the normal pick, but I was always kind of a nerdy techie guy growing up, and so
Yeah.
I still am nerdy and techie. I never grew out of that. I've got these big glasses here that tell you that I'm a nerd. But yeah, I
Oh.
always identified most with him. And then my
Mhm.
son, he's 9 now. He's gotten into them as well, and his
Yes.
favorite is Michelangelo because he's a funny guy. So
Yeah. He's my favorite too, Michelangelo.
yeah,
He's
I think
always
he's a
funny
favorite for
and
a lot of
take
people.
life seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah. Cowabunga. Yes,
cowabunga,
yes
dude.
indeed.
Yep.
Yes, no question. So with the nine with the 9 lives, Batman 9 lives, did you make the costumes or do you have somebody to like make the costumes or
So a little bit of both.
okay.
I don't want to give away too much of the story, but
Okay.
our Nightwing, which is our sort of central costumed hero, is Nightwing in this story. Um, he wanted the actor. He specifically wanted a very comic accurate costume. For most of the costumes and wardrobe for this, we bought some stuff on Amazon, costume stores. We do have Bane as a villain, so I did buy like the Luchador Bane mask. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, I grew up on the '90s animated series, and I actually think that
Yeah.
the Tom Hardy Dark Knight Returns or Dark Knight Rises Bane is like one of the worst interpretations of that character, even though he's so beloved by so many people. Uh,
Yeah.
the voice is really what got me. You were born
Right.
in the darkness. Like come on, man. It was like a wannabe Darth Vader almost with the voice,
Right.
but
Right.
yeah. So we got the officially licensed Bane luchador mask. So we got an officially licensed Nightwing costume that the actor found online. And then everything else we've kind of put together with, um, kind of similar to how like a cosplayer might do it, really building the
Mm-hmm.
costumes. We do have the Riddler in this story. We have Carmine Falcone in this
Mm-hmm.
story, and we have
Mm-hmm.
Poison Ivy in this story. And those three as well kind of have a pretty specific look. If you know anything about Batman, so
Yeah.
um, other than that, though, a lot of the characters are really just in plain clothes. But we kind of
Okay.
purchased everything, and like I said, I based a lot of the designs. So as you know from working with me on that music video, I'm a very run and gun solo shooter kind of guy. This is my first
Mm-hmm.
time actually having. I've got a production assistant, or sorry, a production designer, not a PA, a production designer. I've been
Mm-hmm.
bringing out people for audio for this. I've got a makeup artist coming to a couple of the shoots. These are all things that I really, really haven't done before because I don't need a ton of that when doing music videos. So again, I've done a lot of this. In the beginning, I didn't know that I'd have any crew. I was expecting to. I wrote it. I wrote the whole script. I expected to have to shoot it, handle the audio. If there was going to be makeup, I figured it'd be me doing the makeup. I've been watching makeup tutorials on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube for a while.
Yeah.
I'll send you some pictures when we get off.
Sure.
I need to make our Bruce Wayne actor look a little older. So I've been
Okay.
practicing hair paint, making my hair gray
Okay.
to know what I'm going to do for him when we get on set to film.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really expected to be doing everything myself on this. And I've lucked out to where a lot of the cast have really wanted to get involved and help and like be crew members. My friend Carter Coleman is playing Jim Gordon in this, and he and I have really
Mhm.
talked about this. The wonderful Melissa Sapienza is playing our Riddler, which is a very interesting
Okay.
take in making the Riddler female as well. But she also has been just, uh, I can't even put into words how helpful she has been as probably
Mm-hmm.
the most experienced on staff here with knowing
Mm-hmm.
sort of the ins and outs of the industry, and she really helped me put together a lot of the costumes and whatnot. So yeah, it's been really great to work on it. I'm really excited to continue working. We're doing the bulk of the filming
Yeah.
for that this weekend, actually.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And it'll be premiering next year, I'm assuming.
No, no. We'll have it finished. Like I said, it's a pretty short story. It's
Okay.
probably 15 total minutes in length, start to finish. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's considered a micro short. But don't tell it that. It's a little self conscious about its size. And
Yeah.
so the editing, I've actually everything we've filmed so far is pretty much edited and ready to go. So we've got sort of this dinner date scene with Bruce and
Mm-hmm.
Selena to film a couple fight scenes and then the big sort of villain climax. And really, I,
Okay.
I say that's all that's left, but that's kind of the bulk of the film. So later this week, we'll be filming Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. And that should wrap everything up for what we need.
Nice.
And then I would say within a month or two, I'll probably have it edited and ready to go. I've got a local guy. He does music. His project is called uh, a Liquid Novi. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but he's actually going to score it for us. So I'm once I have my final edit done, um, at least of the cuts before I get to like color grading and stuff. I'm gonna send that over
Okay.
to him. And he's gonna write a score for it that's gonna
Nice.
follow the whole thing. And then we're gonna have a song from the local group Dream the Heavy in it as well for the end credits.
Okay. Nice. Nice. I definitely like to check it out. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the theaters around the city and also the outskirts of the city, if I'm not mistaken. If I definitely want to check it out and see so I can support.
Yeah, yeah. So we won't have like a theatrical release or anything. We
Okay.
did have somebody actually offer to play it in their movie theater, but they're in Maryland, and
Mm-hmm. Okay.
even creating it, I'm not driving to Maryland to see my own movie. So I'm going to do a screening here at the studio. Have you been here to the studio? Did you come to our networking event
No,
last year? No. Um,
no, no.
so I've got a full recording studio here, as you can probably see behind me, the amps and stuff. Um,
Uh-huh.
this can I get my hand in frame? This is a
Sure.
window that passes over into the live room of the studio. So
Okay.
what I'm going to do is I'm just going to screen it here for a premiere. But I'll
Okay.
invite
Yeah.
people, and I'll get popcorn and whatnot going for everybody, and
Yeah.
it'll be a
Yeah.
fun time. I know at least most of the cast will be here for that, and then I'm sure a couple of the people who um, supported us on Kickstarter and some of the crew and whatnot will probably show up for that as well. So that'll be fun,
Nice.
and then it'll be on
Nice.
YouTube.
Oh, okay. Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
Definitely want to check it out and show my support. Now my next question is, how did you get involved in music? Like, what inspired you to get involved in music?
I always liked music. Singing in the
Yeah.
car, singing in the shower.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
I singing in the school choir. I was doing stuff like that. And then I was in eighth grade, and I
Hmm.
started getting into um, I'm gonna say punk rock, but it's not really punk rock. But like Green Day was really popular at the time, and Blink 182 had really just come on the scene. And as
Hmm.
a 13-year-old boy, Blink 182 was um, my shit. Pardon my French. But
No, you good.
I really got into them, and so a couple friends and we started a band. I had a good
Okay.
friend who, oddly enough, is actually acting in the Batman film as well. Um, he was a drummer. He had been taking lessons through school for since I think fourth or fifth grade. Our other good friend had started taking guitar lessons about a year prior, and I was going to be the singer, and we needed a bass player. And so I was a good boy and asked Santa Claus for a bass guitar for Christmas. And apparently, I wasn't the nice list that year because I got a bass guitar that year for Christmas.
Nice.
And by March, we were playing punk rock shows. It was a good time. And
Nice.
then
Very
I
nice.
just kind of stuck with it. I did the original band thing for a long time. Writing
Hmm.
and performing your own music, and for the past couple years, I've been more in the cover band scene. And then at some point, I again being the techie nerdy Donatello of the group, I got into the back end of stuff. I started figuring out how microphones and PA systems worked, and
Hmm.
then I started figuring out recording equipment, and it just kind of all snowballed from there. And I moved into this location here for the Shell Shock Multimedia Studio. Got my keys at the end of 2020, so I am just over 5 years in here at this studio location, and it's molded and evolved over the years. And like this amp rack
Hmm.
behind me is probably only 6 months old. The amps have been here, but I built a shelf a couple months ago to display
Yeah.
them to
Yeah.
make
That's what's
myself
up,
look a
man.
little more legitimate when people walk in the door. So
Oh no, no. It's all. You are legitimate, my man. I mean, you got all that equipment back there, so obviously you know what you're doing. Obviously, you got a passion for this. So yeah, yeah. I would say you legitimate. You are legit for
yeah,
sure,
well, I
no doubt.
appreciate
Now,
that.
now, oh, no problem, no problem, no problem, my man, no problem. So my next question, you mentioned Blink 182 and Green Day. So when you was in the bands like cover bands, did songs by them as well?
Yeah, so that was kind of the stuff that I sort of cut my teeth on when I first started
Hmm.
learning. Of course, I think every young kid who gets a guitar tries to learn some version of like Black Sabbath or Metallica or Guns N' Roses or something along those lines. And I did fiddle with that
Yeah.
stuff a little bit, but I was really drawn towards that pop punk sound of, like I said, Blink 182, Green Day, New Found Glory was on the scene. Yellow Card got popular not
Hmm.
long after that, and that's always kind of been the music that I personally have gravitated towards as my sort of
Hmm.
like go to listening, like background music, pop punk, emo, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the cover
Okay.
band
Now,
that
was
I'm
you?
in,
I'm sorry.
I'm on my second cover band now, actually. But the first one we were called All
Hmm.
Killer No Filler, which is actually a Sum
Hmm.
41 album. So it was very pop punk oriented. We played, as I mentioned, we played Blank, Green Day, um, Sum 41, Yellow Card, Fall Out Boy, all that kind of stuff. And then my current band, we're called Status Update. We
Okay.
are unofficially MySpace themed. So we play a lot of like MySpace era stuff. So a lot of those similar
Yeah.
artists actually, which were big then, but we do some of the pop and R&B stuff that was big then as well. So like we do the Fray, it's a big pop artist that came out around that time. We've talked
Hmm.
about learning like Kelly Clarkson and Rihanna and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then we even get into some of the heavier stuff, like we've been doing some System of a Down, and we're currently learning Kill Switch Engage and Bullet for My Valentine, which uh,
Okay.
I don't know if there's that much of a market for it, but we had a vote in our band chat, and we all five of us picked five songs, and
Mm-hmm.
we all picked our favorite two from those five, and then there's five of us, so we had 10 new songs to learn, and somehow all of them are like hard rock and metal, and it's like this isn't what we signed up for, but we've been making it work.
Yeah.
We just had our first
Yeah.
rehearsal this past week after we talked about learning that new round of songs, and we've got a gig coming up. It's like a pre St. Patty's Day party
Mm-hmm.
over at the Lux Bar in McKeesport, which is where we had our first show.
Mm-hmm.
Almost one
Okay.
year to the day. Last year we played March 8th last year, and we're playing there March 7th this year for the pre St. Patty's Day or early St. Patty's Day, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Okay.
Spring break, I don't care, whatever. Uh,
Yeah.
but we
Nice.
uh, we we made the set list for that, and it's funny. There's literally none of that pop punk stuff on it. We figured,
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of like our home base bar. If we're gonna try out some of this newer, heavier stuff, like we might as well do it somewhere that keeps inviting us back, as opposed to going somewhere
Yeah.
brand new and being like, hey, by the way, we do all that screamy, scary metal stuff.
Right.
So
A- Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, would you add My Chemical Romance to the list as far as like,
oh,
would you? I
absolutely.
know they came out around that time,
Yeah,
2004,
we
5-ish.
we
Six.
play. We actually, the current band, we play two My Chemical Romance. Well, we have one that's in our repertoire already, and another one that's on our list of songs to learn. So we play their song "I'm Not Okay," and
Mm-hmm.
then we are probably going to learn another one of their songs. It was called Helena. I don't know if you remember it, but the music
Okay.
video was the
Yes.
funeral and the big dance
Yes.
scene, and
Mm-hmm.
um, so real
Yes.
real big from that time, like you said. So definitely going to learn some more stuff from them. Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt.
Now we don't
And
do
you
any No
mentioned
Doubt. They were
Sister.
the '90s.
Hey, I like No Doubt. I like No Doubt.
Hmm.
The Sky.
I
You
love I
know,
love No Doubt
scene.
actually.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to No Doubt. Now,
I
you
think Gwen
mentioned
Stefani was my
Sis-
first celebrity crush.
System of Down. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Back then, she was '90s fine. Back then, '90s fine. I
Yeah,
mean, she's beautiful now, but back then,
she's
she
still
was
'90s
'90s
fine
fine. My
somehow
goodness.
at 60 some years old. I don't. She's like a
Yeah,
vampire, man. She don't
yeah.
age.
No question. No question. No question. And you mentioned System of the Down. Are you gonna add Chop Suey and Toxicity to the repertoire of
So
songs that y'all gonna be doing?
we actually already do Chop Suey. That was one of the first. It was actually one of the
Uh
first
huh.
songs that we learned as a
Uh
group
huh.
was Chop Suey, and we recently incorporated Aerials, which is also from that
Yeah. Okay.
Toxicity album. And
Mm-hmm.
they're one of those bands that we all kind of grew up on, and so we all kind of know their
Yes.
songs. So
Mm-hmm.
we started talking at practice one time, like, well, what song should we learn? What does everybody know? And our guitar started playing, started playing Aerials, and we all were just like, okay, we're doing this. And most of us knew it already. So it was like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, that's a no-brainer. And then we played Toxicity immediately after that. And they've got another song called Sugar that we joke. We play Sugar We're Going Down by Fall Out Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And usually on the
Yeah,
set
you
list,
remember that.
it's abbreviated to just Sugar. But System of a Down has a
Okay.
song called Sugar as well. Bum 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 bum. And someone will say, "You guys want to play Sugar next?" And I'll go, "Yeah." And I'll start playing dun 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 dun, playing the System of a Down song. And
Yeah.
then again,
Okay.
most of us know at least part of it, so we usually get through like a verse and a chorus of that song before we fall apart and go, maybe we should learn that.
Right. Right. For sure. And speaking of Fall Out Boy, have y'all ever did This Ain't the Scene? This is an arm race.
No, we talked about that one. It's a good one. It really is. The singer and I, we actually do an acoustic set as well that we call status update offline mode. Again, just
Mm-hmm.
tying into the whole like internet theme, as opposed to unplugged, we're offline. But so we open things up with the acoustic set a little more, where we get a little deeper into some of the like more obscure emo stuff that I like. And then again, like I said, we get into more of those pop songs. Um, but that is one that our singer and I have definitely talked about doing as an acoustic song, because I there's a really cool acoustic version of it
Yeah.
that they did at some point, and every time he hears it, he texts me and says, "Hey, you got to learn the acoustic version of This Ain't a Scene, so we can play it at our next acoustic gig." So we don't know it yet, but we
Okay.
will. We will
Nice. Nice.
eventually. We're learning "Dance Dance" by
Okay.
Fall Out Boy right now as one of our newbies.
Oh, no question. No question.
Yeah.
And who else came out around that time? There was the band Hoobenstank. The Reason. Have you ever tried that?
The Reason was again one of the first songs we ever learned. I love that song.
Me too. Yes.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But it is boring AF to play in a band. So we played it for our first couple gigs, and it's just a mood killer, man. We still know it, obviously. But yeah, it's a mood killer. We try and stick with stuff that's more upbeat and rocking, and
Mhm.
even the pop songs that we do, we kind of rock them up. Um, you know,
Yeah.
we're doing Lady Gaga, but it's still got like distorted guitars and stuff on it, and
Yeah.
when we do Rihanna, there's a band called All Time Low. They actually did a cover of her song Umbrella, and so like we're learning their version of Umbrella to play because it just
Okay.
fits with what we're
Okay.
doing. Um,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Nice. Now, I know you mentioned um Blink 182 and Green Day is one of your favorite artists that inspire you to do what you do. Do you have any other favorite artists outside of that genre that you like like power punk or
Yeah.
that's your
So
favorites? Like,
I mentioned, when I was 13 and kind of got into, Blink 182 as a lot of 13-year-old boys did. By the time I
yeah.
was like 16, 17, I had almost completely grown out of Blink 182. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but yeah, so, I mean, some of my favorite artists, I don't know if you know Incubus. We
Yes,
do
I
we do
remember
some of
them.
their stuff with the
Drive.
cover band as well. Yeah, we do Drive with the
Mm-hmm.
acoustic. And Breaking Benjamin is another fan of mine, or a big favorite of mine, in which we do Breaking Benjamin as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I really like Bruno Mars. I'm like a
Oh
really
yeah.
big Bruno Mars fan. He
Yes.
is like, yeah, he's like that perfect combination of Michael Jackson and Prince, I think.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but built
Mm-hmm.
for like the modern age. So he's definitely a
Yes.
favorite of mine, and I grew up on a lot of the stuff that my parents listened to. So my dad was more of a rocker and into like Motley Crue and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And then my mom was more into like the poppier rock bands back then, like Bon Jovi and Journey and stuff like that. So yeah, my musical tastes do get pretty broad, pretty vast. I grew up I went to McKeesport High School. And again, around
Mm-hmm.
that time, a lot of artists that got popular were like, Ludacris and 50 Cent and
Mm-hmm.
like those kinds of rappers. My senior year, uh, the song Rockin' in My White Tee was almost
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it was second place in the vote for our senior class song. which is
Mm-hmm.
crazy to me. But our so I like a lot of that stuff too. And Linkin Park is a big one that I really like, really infusing that, that rap and that rock, the urban
Mm-hmm.
stuff in there. We do a lot of Linkin Park covers with the band. Shouldn't say a lot. We do
Mm-hmm.
4 Linkin Park covers with the band.
Mm-hmm.
And so I play guitar in the band, and I also do the backup singing. And so for a lot of the songs that we do, a lot of the bands that we have picked to cover, they've got 2 very prominent vocalists. Linkin Park
Mm-hmm.
being a good example. So for a lot of the songs that we play, I actually put the guitar down completely, and the singer and I, do like the dual frontman thing. So when we do Linkin
Mm-hmm.
Park, I do all of the rapping parts, and a lot of the heavier stuff, I do like the more screamy, like kind of vocals.
Yeah.
Mostly just so that our singer isn't wearing himself out,
Right.
throughout the night. He's got 3 hours of music to sing. I sing for probably 10 minutes during the entire thing.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier on me to do those kinds of vocals. When they come up. But
Yeah. No question. And you mentioned Lincoln Park. Now, what you think about the new front front person of the band? Are you digging it or you not digging it? I mean, what's your take?
so my take is a hot one. Um,
Okay.
and First of all, I was familiar with um, Emily. Emily is her name.
Mm,
I was
yes.
familiar with Emily from her band Dead Sarah.
Okay.
And when I saw that they had introduced her as the new singer, and then pretty quickly released a new single with her as the lead vocalist, I thought it was the smartest move they could have done. Um,
Okay.
there were rumors that the former lead singer of Sum 41 was going to take over because Sum 41 had just gone on hiatus. There were rumors that MGK was going to take over. There were rumors that
Mm,
Jeremy McKinnon from A Day to Remember was going to fill in. Um, I think any male vocalist who had taken over that spot would have been 100% compared to the late Chester Bennington, who is just a world
right.
class vocalist. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't deny the talent that guy had. And so any
Yes.
guy who would try and do those vocals would get, oh, he doesn't sound enough like Chester, or oh, he's trying too hard to sound like Chester.
Right.
Whereas going with a female vocalist, number one, Chester had a pretty high range to begin with. So going with a female
Yes.
vocalist, she's going to be more predisposed to already being able to sing in that range. And then obviously not being as compared to, the previous male singer, because it's a different thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she was like just famous enough of someone to get. Like if they had picked a total unknown, it would have been like, who the fuck is this guy? Again, pardon my French.
Yeah. No,
Um,
you good.
and at the same time, if they had picked somebody like Jeremy McKinnon from A Day to Remember, you know what I mean? It would have been so much like if the band had ever written something that had a little more of that pop punk easy core sort of A Day to Remember ish
Mm-hmm.
sound, the first thing all the
Mm-hmm.
fans would have said was, "Oh, now that they have Jeremy, they're trying to sound like A Day to Remember." And so,
Right.
you alienate the fans that were big Chester loyalists. You alienate the fans that maybe even like A Day to Remember, but want to listen to a different band. So I just think it was a good play to get somebody who was, known in the scene enough that like they weren't a complete unknown. And then going with a female vocalist, I really think was the smart play, because, like I said, any guy who took over that role would have been compared to
Yeah.
Chester in a very unfair way.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I agree. So, rest in peace to Chester. Rest in peace. It's just so tragic that
Yeah.
what happened to him, and all the other artists that went that route, taking their own lives. It's just sad, But
And so
rest in peace to Chester.
I think that's a good segue. Um, Not to
Mm.
steal your hosting duties
Oh
here.
no,
I know at
no,
the
you
beginning
fine.
of this, I mentioned I've got 3 films in the works. The Batman one that we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, is the one that's like in production right now. But I've got
Mm-hmm.
two mental health films in the works right now
Yeah.
that are
Nice.
they're kind of opposite sides of the same coin. Um,
Okay.
they are both told from the perspective of a grieving family after a young man in his 20s takes his life.
Mm.
So again, the Chester suicide is just a great sort of segue into this. It's a tragic event, but as soon as you said, it's tragic the way he took his life like that, and all the others, I immediately started thinking about this again. But so these two, they are called. One is called Elliot Unfinished, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
one that you and I have spoken about on Facebook, and the other one is called Love Leo. And like I said, they're both mental health, um, mental health centric stories. And both are told and seen from the eyes of a grieving family and friends of these
Mm-hmm.
2 young men. Elliot being the sort of bright, um, uh, Robin Williams esque sort of, you
Mm-hmm.
know, he was always so happy. He was making everybody laugh. Nobody would have ever thought, that he was, would take his own life. And the other side,
Mm-hmm.
Love Leo, is about a young man who is sort of um, known to have faced those sort of mental health challenges, um, and has gone to therapy and is on medication, and is not very much unlike Chester, who took his own life sadly, and but had spoken out about the fact that he wasn't okay. If you listen to a lot of Linkin Park's lyrics, um, a lot of them talk about his struggle with his mental health and
Mm-hmm.
suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. So having lost an artist like that was influential to me, and someone that I looked up to. Um, I've always taken mental health very seriously. For the past couple years, I've been involved with a music festival called Fitz Fest, which is held in
Mm-hmm.
honor of a guy in his 20s who lost his life way too young. Organized by his friends and family. I never had the pleasure of knowing Mitch. Fitz, his first name was Mitch. I never had the pleasure of knowing Mitch, but just being able to be involved in that festival and with that foundation over the past couple years, having Shell Shock Multimedia be a sponsor of the event. This past
Mm-hmm.
summer, they do the event in I think it's Carrick area of Pittsburgh on Ormsby Ave. There's Ormsby Ave Cafe and 222 Ormsby, 2 music venues right
Mm-hmm.
across from each other. And so they do a 3-stage setup where there's an outdoor stage, there's people in the Ormsby Ave Cafe, and then a band's playing inside 222 Ormsby. And so last year, I as a sponsor, I donated my time and equipment to run sound for the outdoor stage. My band played with one of our first gigs with this new group,
Mm-hmm.
and but yeah, just having been involved with some of these organizations that are promoting mental health. Because it's something that I've struggled with for a lot of my life as well. Ups and
Mm-hmm.
downs. Anxiety is a big thing for me, sometimes cripplingly so. Whereas you see me now here in the studio, but there are some times where I'm so in my head, about being here with imposter syndrome and, was this business a good idea? um, that I sort of, a few months ago, I went into just a sort of depressive state, partly because of the weather and seasonal depression, but um,
Yeah.
a little bit of struggle with, finding clients for the business. Um,
Hmm.
and I went like 2 whole weeks without being able to bring myself to even come here and do any work. I ended
Mm.
up getting behind on some deadlines and some things that I planned on having done by a certain time just didn't get done because I couldn't
Hmm.
find the mental energy and real estate to come and just work here. So it's really one
Right.
of the reasons I wanted to do these mental health sort of PSA sort of short films, is that it's something that I've struggled with for a long time, as I mentioned, and there's kind of a stigma against people with mental health issues, particularly men with mental health issues. So I just kind of want to bring awareness to the fact that not everything is. A lot of times there's more below the surface than what you see when it comes to people. So like, and with the,
Absolutely.
the one story, it's that happy-go-lucky, always making a joke kind of guy. I really, as I was writing the script for that, I was really thinking about Robin Williams, and the
Yeah.
way that when he took his life, nobody expected it. And then for the other one,
Um,
that one's called Love Leo. That's the other side of that coin where Leo in that one, the young man, took his life. He was someone who was known to have struggled with, depression. And, his family didn't quite take it seriously enough until um, it eventually, they just had to take it seriously because he took his life. And I think I lost you.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry
No,
about
you're
that.
good. I lost you for a second there.
Yeah. Sorry about that. You let's continue back to our regularly scheduled program. You said about the young man and about mental health. Sorry about that. What you were saying now?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know where you lost me, but yeah. So the two that I'm working on, it's Elliot Unfinished, which is about a young man who took his life and was a very sort of Robin Williams sort of guy, always telling jokes, always making people happy. And the other one
Mm-hmm.
is Love Leo, which again we mentioned Chester Bennington. I have had friends who have taken their own lives, who did struggle with their mental health and the stigma around it, especially when regarding young men. And so that character Leo, was open about his mental health and was knowingly depressed. Whereas Elliot, on the other hand, was the happy-go-lucky, always telling a joke kind of guy. So just kind of want to
Mm-hmm.
examine the two different sides of that. Of like, again, not everything that you see on the surface, or I should say, there's more than what you see on the surface when it comes to most people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of mental health, I too am part of a short film about mental health. I'm actually the lead character for it. Shout out to the good brother Ali Dean, who goes by House of Wax, and his lady who goes by Rockstar. I'm gonna be partaking in the short film about mental health. And we're gonna be shooting officially next month.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about it because I have been battling mental health on and off. I even had thoughts of suicide, to be honest with you, recently and in the past. And, I've been going to therapy on and off. So I feel this is very important for me to tackle this because I want to let people know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to reach out to people. It's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to cry. It's okay to let it out and be happy and heal. And I'm on the
Yeah.
road to healing myself. So yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you.
No, that's awesome. And again, it's one of those things where there's just sort of a stigma, around mental health, and especially again, like I said, in men. You know, where people tell you to man up or, you know, quit acting like a girl
Hmm.
or, you know, whatever. And, um, you know, I would love to see that stigma go away. And
Yeah, for sure.
I would love to see less young men taking their, I'd love to see less people in general, taking their lives.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a huge epidemic of suicide amongst young males in the country, and so again, it's just something we want to bring awareness to.
No question, no question. I can't wait for those movies to go and I can't wait for those movies to debut and so I can watch them and support, because it's very important. Mental health is very important and it's okay to heal. It's okay to cry and all that.
Yeah,
So anybody that's watching and listening, take heed. It's all right to cry. You know, that man up crap, don't let society tell you that. If you gotta cry, do it. Do it.
yeah,
So you can be on the road to happiness because you deserve happiness. That
yeah.
goes for every man, woman, and child. So yes, indeed, yes, indeed. So before we conclude this interview, is any final thoughts you would like to share, my man?
No, man, I just want to thank you again for you know, letting me do this with you, and you know, kind of giving me a platform to you know talk about things that I've got going on with you know both in filmmaking and in music, and you know, as I mentioned, we've got that show coming up on it's March 7th. I'd love it if you could make it. I would love it if anyone watching would want to come out and see a couple local cover bands. And then you know, check out the Shell Shock Multimedia social media pages. They're all just at Shell Shock Multimedia. We're on Facebook, Instagram. I think we have a Twitter. I guess it's X now. Um, and there's a TikTok that exists that I never touch anymore. But yeah, it's just at Shell Shock Multimedia on all of the platforms, and you can keep up to date with you know everything we're doing with music, with you know film, with music videos, with photography. We teach classes here sometimes as well, so we've got a lot going on in the Shell Shock camp, and I would love you know for as many people to be a part of it.
Yes, 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 indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Facebook, Malik Long. I have a page for my podcast on Facebook, The Cool Podcast with the Cool Brother. Instagram, Cool Malik 82. Even though I deactivated for the time being, I'm also on TikTok, Cool Brother. If you want to be a guest on my podcast, feel free to hit me up on one of those platforms I just mentioned via social media, via inbox, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And take it from there. Mr. Ryan Dowden, it was a pleasure having you on. The pleasure was all mine. If you want to be a guest for the second time around, my man, feel free to hit me up.
All right, will do, man. Maybe I'll get in
All
touch
right.
once these are done, and we can do some promo for them and tell people where to watch them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on that note, you take care, my man.
Yeah, man. You have a great night. Thanks for having me.
You too. All right. Peace.